വെച്ചിട്ട് കാപ്പി എന്തൊക്കെ കൊടുക്കും. Okay. Okay, so it's about nearly 6:29, sir. So can we start the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Sriram Nandi, sir, you can give the welcome note to
Okay.
Mr. Shankaraj.
Yes. So a warm good evening to one and all. On behalf of Coimbatore Management Association, we welcome you all for today's Monday Musings. So as you all know, Coimbatore Management Association is one of the oldest as well as one of the most vibrant and active association in the country. And Monday Musings is a weekly thought leadership event which happens. And proud to say today it is 510th episode. And this Monday Musings keep happening so consistently week on week. So in today's Monday Musings, we have one of the most eminent and prominent speaker, that is Dr. M. Rangarajan. So Dr. M. Rangarajan will be delivering a topic between the pages, how reading can enhance your perspectives. So before I hand over the session to Dr. Rangarajan, I would like to just give a brief introduction of Dr. Rangarajan. So Dr. M. Rangarajan is a former associate professor and HOD, Department of Corporate Secretaryship, PSG College of Arts and Science. Sir is a corporate trainer, quiz master, and also serves as the CEO of Mind Games Quizzing and Consulting. And sir is the president of Coimbatore Quiz Circle. So Professor M. Rangarajan is having 34 years of teaching and training experience with one of the leading arts and science colleges in India and is responsible for molding students' career through various forums and associations. His exclusive forum called FACE, that is Forum for Active Campus Endeavors in PSG CAS, has trained a number of students who went to IIM and other reputed management institutes and presently placed at various multinationals in India and abroad. He is also a well-known quiz master with more than 1,000 quiz shows. To his credit, he is most sought-after speaker among the colleges in Coimbatore, and he has delivered more than 500 guest lectures. Mind Games is a platform to utilize Dr. M. Rangarajan's experience and wide knowledge for corporate training. And in addition to that, Sir has organized more than 500 seminars and workshops on topics like lateral thinking and creative thinking, leadership, change management, emotional intelligence, conflict management, learning from legends, etc. And some of these, few of his recent clients are like NIPM, Xavier Institute of Management, the Week Magazine, the Dinamalar, Shakti Gears, Computer Society of India, etc. So for any further information, you can always reach out to Professor M. Rangarajan at m.rangarajan@gmail.com. With this brief introduction, now let me invite today's speaker, and also I welcome today's speaker to deliver today's Monday Musings. Sir, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, ma'am.
Ma'am, shall we start?
Yeah, we can start.
Okay, we
Yeah.
can start.
Yeah.
Yes, let me share the PPT.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, visible, sir, visible.
It's clear.
Yes.
Visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Professor M. Rangarajan. And actually, this is my second session, Counter Management Association. The first session also concerned with questions, the importance of questions, questioning attitude, and all that. The second session, I've taken my favorite topic, that is reading. The topic is between the pages, how reading can enhance your perspectives. That is for everybody. Everybody in the sense that is for maybe school students, college students, professionals, housewives, everybody. Reading is an excellent form of relaxation. Reading can also provide the benefits of meditation also, because reading needs focus and concentration. And reading actually activates your brain. And reading provides the elation of knowing. So, reading actually, as a quizmaster, I depend mostly on books. My questions are taken from books, not from the internet directly. I read the books and highlight the points, and the points highlighted are converted into questions. So, reading is my passion. That's why I've taken this particular topic. Between the pages, when you start a book and when you end the book, close the book, something that will happen. That is the magic of the book. So that depends on the book, depends on the person also. Something will happen. So the author's experiences shared with you, it actually changes your perspective towards life. It may be a novel, it may be a non-fiction book, or it may be anything, any book. So the book, if you select the right book will change you a little bit. I am talking on the basis of my experience. It has given me a wonderful career even after retirement. 2019, I retired only because of my reading. I am a quizmaster and I am paid a substantial amount of money for conducting a quiz just for half a day. For 50 questions, I am charging a hefty amount. That is mainly because of my reading habit. So, my reading habit, that is books, they have given me a nice career after my retirement as a college professor. Now, the question is currently among overall, not only among the youngsters, but with everybody, reading is considered out of fashion. And what are the reasons they say? First, I want to start with that. The reasons they say is number one, we're all very busy. We don't have the time to read. Where is the time to read? That is the first uh, reply whenever I am asked, do you read books or where is the time to read? I'll tell you, see, when you visit the Brookfield Mall, when you visit all the cinema halls, when you visit theaters, and when you visit all the restaurants, biryani restaurants, they're all crowded, always crowded. So see that people are having time for all the other avenues, all the other passions. Why not for reading? And reading, they say that it is actually an effort. We'll have to concentrate, we'll have to take a book and we'll have to sit. And it is an effort now. Most probably for youngsters, it is an effort. And of course, they say, so we don't have the focus to concentrate on a book. So we are having the attention span of a WhatsApp message. That's it. So give me the summary of the book, that's enough. So what the book says, that's enough. Even in the net, summaries of the books are available. But actually, the summary of the book will take you nowhere. The book offers you a context, a context. The writer, author, he has taken a topic, he has researched. If it is a good book, good author, he has researched and he presents it in a particular structure. So the structure from the first chapter to the last chapter, he provides arguments over arguments. Then only whatever he offers, it becomes part of your experience. So reading is an experience. So a simple summary that's available in the net for a book, it will never help you. So that is one point. The lack of focus and all that, if you want to read, you can read. You can read. That is while traveling. while traveling. While traveling, just take your mobile phone, download the Kindle app. Lots of free books are available. And I want to tell you, the books are not at all costly now. If you're taking Amazon, pay 169 rupees per month. You can download thousands of books without paying any money. You can read it and return it. So anytime at a time, you can have 20 books on your mobile phone. You can read it, return it, just 169 rupees. Lots of books are available, free of cost, absolutely free of cost. At least few thousand books are free of cost. And little bit costly books are available under Kindle Unlimited. So don't say that books are costly. There is another excuse given by books are very costly now, sir. Books are not costly. Libraries are available in the schools and colleges, but lending libraries are closed in. And another reason everybody says is distraction. Distraction. Our life is full of distraction. Mobile phone, TV, everything is a distraction. So in this world, so loud world, how we can concentrate on books? So if you want, if you're having good book, if you're going into the pages, I can give you the names of few thriller writers. If you actually spend 10 pages, if you start reading 10 pages, you'll be actually chucked into the book. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. Some writers are there, thriller writers are there. That is the fun of reading. You will be chucked into, just like a movie, you'll be chucked into the book. And you'll go on reading till the last page. So it needs, just take the effort to start with the first page, 10 pages. The 10 pages, if it grabs you, it will take you until, otherwise the book is not. That's how you decide. And somebody says, sir, I don't know what to read. I don't know what to read. What is your interest? Read. If your interest is food, yes, of course, read about food. If you're interested in sports, lots of very interesting sports books are there. If you're interested in current affairs, read about current affairs. So if your interest is there, lots of books are available. Just take your interest. If it is movies, we are having umpteen books about movies. Sitfield has written at least 5 books about screenplay writing. If you are interested in how to write a screenplay, or if you are a cinema movie fanatic, just read Sitfield version of 3-act script writing. It is very interesting. Most of our popular directors, actors follow it. Kamal follows it. Sitfield's 3-act script, he follows it. First act, second act, third act. Actually, the 3-part is a very important element of presenting anything. So you'll have to decide what to read. And of course, people like us can suggest you. And I'm always ready to suggest. If you contact me, I can suggest you books, maybe a thriller book, maybe a sports book, maybe a business book. Today, we are going to see only lots of business books because they told me there will be lots of MBA students. And what the books can offer you, they can provide you, number one, language proficiency. Actually, I studied in Tamil medium in Pollachi, and I completed till MCOM at Pollachi NGM College, everything. And I can't say that I was so proficient in English when I was completing my MCOM last year. Only after entering PhD College of Arts and Science, actually mainly because of my reading habit, I actually became proficient in English. So language proficiency, vocabulary. And vocabulary, I'll tell you, lots of interesting crossword books, word puzzles books are there. When you're traveling long time, these books will be very, very entertaining, enlightening. And word origins. I can conduct an entire quiz on English word origins. Each and every English word is having interesting origin, etymology. Etymology, we are having so many books, they offer you stories. That's what interesting. That's what it makes interesting. All my quizzes, I ask a question and I don't give one word answer. I'll give a story. All the stories I collected from reading books. I won't give a one-word story, one-word answer. I will give a name, I will give a word, and I will give a story. So this storytelling, nowadays storytelling is important in business management also. Storytelling is important for teaching also. So storytelling, of course, it is mainly on the basis of reading, storytelling habit. And it gives you the knowledge. Knowledge gives you confidence. A book, if you complete it, naturally, you will have a sense of confidence and you can talk. So many of us, when we talk, we stop somewhere. When we are having the habit of reading, of course, the points just like that, believe me, you need not prepare. Just like that, points will come to your mind and you will deliver it. Reading helps you, and reading, it stores information here whenever you present it. And at the right point of time, it will give you, there is this anecdote in that book. There is this fact in this book. Present it. Automatically it will come. That is the benefit of knowledge. And the knowledge gives you enormous confidence when you are talking, when you are writing, or when you are doing business presentations, or when you are doing college seminars and other presentations. Then reading, it can enhance your imagination, creativity, and emotional intelligence. That is imagination in the sense, when you read a fiction, you imagine. The entire world of the author is created in your brain. So the books, just like a movie, is entirely created in your brain. The sense of imagination and emotional intelligence. When you read the experiences of the author, you feel that you are empathetic. You are empathetic and you feel that, oh, regarding this particular situation, I am not alone. So many people are having this problem. So when that author shares his experience, it will be a solution for you also. So it creates a sense of confidence, emotional intelligence, and fictions can create, because imagination and creativity, it comes out of reading. Reading. You ask anybody who's in advertising, all the advertising professionals are readers. All the business magnates are well-known readers. We'll talk about it later. Okay. So don't say that you're always busy. Don't say that books are costly. Don't say that books need lots of attention. What you need is start a book. Just start a book. And the book should be very carefully selected according to your interest, whatever may be the interest. And next, we'll move on to our topic, what happens between the pages. Yes, this book was released in 1987. My topic is how reading can enhance your perspectives. 1987, John Scully was the vice chairman, later president of PepsiCo. And this guy has written the book, published it in 1987. It was called Odyssey, Pepsi to Apple. While reading this book, I read it. Actually, when it was published, I was at PG College of Art and Science. Just I entered the profession. And it was so interesting. I shared the book with my students. One of the students, his name is Venkatesh Natarajan. Maybe he is here, I believe. Venkatesh Natarajan, he asked for the book. He read it and he got so interested and he entered the profession of advertising. And recently, he came out of his profession of advertising from a very popular newspaper and is now an advertising professional. And he's a practicing professional and still having the book, my copy of that book, Odyssey. What is there in that book? What is there in that book? You'll have to go to 1983. 1983, Steve Wozniak already established Apple. And they made Apple the first two editions of computers. They were revolutionary by design, but they had a little bit of stagnation. They can't move ahead. They are having technical expertise. When compared to IBM, competing with IBM, they created better computers by design, everything, working efficiency, everything. But they want to move ahead. What to do? And they identified we are having technical expertise, but we need somebody else to create a mass appeal for our brand. How to create mass appeal for a brand? So they considered we'll get somebody from a consumer brand. So consumer brand, Pepsi, world's number 2. So Steve Jobs, he actually asked for a meeting with John Scully and asked himself, sir, please come to our company. You take over as the CEO, and we want a mass appeal for our brand so that everybody, our aim is to put up a desktop on everybody's house, everybody's office table. It should be a consumer product. That's our aim, a desktop computer. 1983. John Scully was reluctant because he was actually selling Pepsi Cola. Pepsi Cola, what is Pepsi Cola? World's #1 soft drink brand. How he can survive in 100% electronic technical field selling personal computers. And very popular, one particular line told by Steve Jobs to John Scully, that particular two lines is actually the change of perspective. Yes. Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life or come with me and change the world? Steve Jobs to John Scully, 1983. In a meeting in a particular restaurant when they were having the lunch, and John Scully was reluctant, and Steve Jobs delivered this particular line. Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life? He means Pepsi Cola, or come with me and change the world? Change of perspective. This particular actually inspired me a lot. That's how I started sharing my books knowledge with my students. I will teach the students for 50 minutes or 45 minutes. Remaining 15 to 20 minutes will be for sharing the information about latest books, latest current affairs, everything regarding that particular subject. So come with me and change the world. Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life or come with me and change the world? See this beautiful quote in that book. At that particular time, it was never popular. But when John Scully joined the company and 1984, they launched Macintosh. Macintosh with, of course, lots of mass appeal. They got Ridley Scott to direct a TV commercial. The TV commercial, it was aired only once at the Super Bowl on a big screen, only once, not in TV, etc., etc. It was called 1984. 1984, it was a tribute to, of course, the great writer who wrote the novel. And 1984, it concludes with 1984. 1984 novel became the inspiration for this George Orwell novel for that advertisement. And 1984, they used it and it grabbed the attention of everybody. What these guys are talking about? What sort of computer it's going to be? And it was a design revolution. And John Scully actually took the company to the next level, and they started selling millions of units of Apple, and the rest is history. That's it. Change of perspective. Change of perspective. John Scully, yes. If it is for John Scully, we can take it from this particular book, our change of perspective. What you are doing now? What you are doing now? So come with me and change the world. So what your personality is doing, what your work is doing, are you capable of changing the world? Or do you remember the another quote by Steve Jobs? Make a dent in the universe. That's another popular quote by Steve Jobs. Make a dent in the universe. Otherwise, for what else we are here? Isn't it? When you are born in this world, your presence should be felt. Isn't it? Your presence should be felt. After you, somebody should like to talk about it. Now we are talking about Steve Jobs. And this guy, change of perspective, John Scully, after joining Apple, he became a technology person. Till date, he's a technology person. So a little bit of change in the career, and it is actually formed through the book. It is the starting point for so many youngsters in United States of America. So many people entered software field after reading this. So you think about 1983, 1984, Macintosh, and 1987, this book came and the floodgate opened. The IT revolution started, and so many of them, they got inspired by this particular. So here it is. Books can change your perspective. Yes, next one. Yes, this guy, you know this, the latest book that's available in the markets now, a little bit costly again. Elon Musk's biography, written by the one and only Walter Isaacson. Walter Isaacson has written lots of biographies, including a fabulous one of Steve Jobs. Please read it. And another one I strongly recommend is Leonardo da Vinci. He has written the biography of Leonardo da Vinci. These two books are immensely readable, well researched, very big books, and read it. And after reading it, you won't be the same person again. And why I have taken this recent book, I am still reading this book. It's a very big book, but change of perspectives, my topic, it arrives here. This guy, as an youngster, he had a very strict father, Elon Musk, very strict father. And of course, the family got dislocated here and there, etc. A disturbed family. And the father strict means he'll beat the children. And routine, lower middle class life in America, here and there. They went to Africa, come back to, etc. So all these dislocations, it affects. But notice, reading changed his life. Reading changed his. He was actually a reader who was into reading any book he gets into it, he will complete it first. One book that caught his fancy was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This book is a science fiction comic drama, In that, one guy from our universe, he got kidnapped by people from some other galaxy. And that guy's experiences are actually the basis of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book. And in the citizens of the other galaxy, they're actually creating a supercomputer. And the purpose of the supercomputer was essentially to identify what is the purpose of life. Actually, they are having a question. The question is, actually, what is the meaning of life? What is the fundamental meaning of the universe? The question given by the people is answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe and everything. This was the question given by the citizens of the particular galaxy. Answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe and everything. The supercomputer they created, it took, according to the novel, I told you it is a science fiction comic novel, it took 7 million years to identify the answer. So the answer to ultimate question of life, the universe and everything, the supercomputer gave the answer. The answer was just a number. 42. The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe and everything, Douglas Adams. There was an answer given by, what is the meaning of 42? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And they ask, see the computer, what is the meaning of 42? Exactly what we'll have to infer. Why they have given you the number 42? Still people are researching 42. Still people are researching at 42. And it's having some stigma. It's having some myth relating to the number 42. Still people are researching it. But after all, this is a comic book. And what the computer, when people asked for a feedback, they asked for a feedback, why 42? What is our question and what is your answer? And the computer gave the answer. So once you do know what question actually is, you will know what the answer means. So you understand this, it is complicated. So once you do know what question actually is, you will know what the answer means. You don't understand the question. You can't get the meaning of what is the meaning of life, what is the meaning of answer. The real meaning, you can't get it. You are doing it, you are living it. So 42, you may not understand. You will not understand 42. Only if you understand your question properly, you will understand the answer 42 properly. It's a complicated question, but this question got the fancy of Elon Musk. He got hooked. We had to ask questions. Asking question, why this particular something like that, etc. That's how he started. So this fancy of asking questions still continues with Elon Musk. That's why he's taking so much of risks, taking the Twitter and changing the name and all that. He's taking all these risks and space travel on that, spending so much of money, losing so much of money, taking all the risks, and he's having that inherent curiosity. What will happen then? Yes, he is very, very curious person. Remember the word curious. Very curious because he wants to understand what the question actually is. Still he's having a question. That's why Elon Musk's going on taking risks. So Elon Musk still a reader. Still a reader. He reads a lot. And I'll tell you, Bill Gates, every year, he goes on a vacation just for reading. At least for 2 weeks, he'll take a bag of books and he'll go to some remote island where nobody can contact him. So many other executives are doing it. And he'll go to that particular island resort or something like that. Nobody can contact him unless if it is a dire emergency. And all the books he will complete in the vacation. That is book reading vacation. That's why Bill Gates is a billionaire. Bill Gates reads, Elon Musk reads. So we'll have to get this habit from these guys. They read, and that's why they get ideas. And ideas get them money. And look at this lady. And look at it. This particular quote, it was during an interview to a very popular journalist in America from a very big magazine. I don't think women can have it all. I just don't think so. My husband and I have been married for 34 years, and we have 2 daughters. And every day you have to make a decision about whether you are going to be a wife or mother. See that particular line? In fact, many times during the day, we have to make those decisions. We co-opted our families to help us. We plan our lives meticulously so we can be decent parents. But if you ask our daughters, I'm not sure they will say that I have been a good mom. See, she was the #1 in PepsiCo, the highest paid woman executive in those days. And see the first line. I don't think women can have it all. What made her say? Yes, for that, yes, change of perspectives. You'll have to read a book written by, of course, Indra Nooyi's biography, My Life in Full, Work, Family, and Our Future. If you're having students, executives, please read this book. This book is about a girl from a just a more or less middle class or little bit upper middle class Brahmin family from Madras. And from that, she started having a basic chemistry degree and moving on to IIM Calcutta and getting her first job at Johnson & Johnson selling sanitary napkins. That was a challenge. She took it. Then, I'm talking about 70s or 80s. She took the challenge. Everybody told her, no, don't touch that particular area. That's very sensitive. But she took the challenge of selling sanitary napkins. So Indra Nooyi, she started at Johnson & Johnson, and she went up to the post of president of PepsiCo. But this particular book, it tells you all. I will read one particular paragraph from that book. It talks about, yes, on December 1, in that particular year, most probably 2000, something like that, 2002 or 2, something like that. I was in my office late on Friday, December 1, when Steve, his boss, called me from Dallas to share the news. I was over the moon. This was a major news. President of PepsiCo, the board of directors decided to appoint Indra Nooyi as the president of PepsiCo, a colored, of course, colored lady. Okay, colored lady. You're all colored people for them. And in America, there is glass ceiling. There is women can't go up to a particular level, but she has broken the glass ceiling. And colored people, she can deliver. They had the confidence. Only Indra Nooyi at this period of time, the best for PepsiCo, and they decided she should be the president of PepsiCo. And she was appointed. And what happened next? She drove home. It was about 10 p.m. and the wintry roads are peaceful and dark. In those 15 minutes behind the wheel, I let myself enjoy my accomplishment. I worked so hard, learned so much, and earned my place. These few lines, it will give you a lot about change of perspectives and all that. And I entered our house through the kitchen door and dropped my keys and bag on the counter. I was bursting with excitement, so eager to tell everyone. Then my mother appeared. Mother was actually, later we have seen a little bit before that, living with, getting help from their families. I was bursting with excitement, so eager to tell everyone. Then my mother appeared and Indra Nooyi exclaimed, I have the most incredible news. she told the mother.
It's a
Mother,
promise. They have.
she told, the
Bluetooth
news can
mode.
wait. The news can wait.
W100
Mother told,
now
I
connected.
need you to go out and get milk. She is rushing to tell the mother and her husband, everybody, that she has just become the president of PepsiCo. And the mother says, the news can wait. I need you to go out and get milk. And Indra Nooyi says, why didn't you ask Raj to get the milk? Raj husband, Raj Nooyi. I
The
asked.
promise.
It
Always
looks
ahead.
like he came a while ago. He actually came to the house a little bit
W100 is
before.
now connected.
He looked tired, so I didn't want to disturb him, isn't it? After all, the so-called Mapillai, isn't it? So he looked tired, so I didn't want to disturb him. Mother said, I picked up my keys, went back to the car, drove to the stop and shop a mile away, and bought a gallon of whole milk. When I walked into the kitchen again, I was hopping mad. I slammed the plastic bottle on the counter. I had just become the president of PepsiCo, and you could not just stop and listen to my news. I said loudly, you just wanted me to get the milk. That's what she told her mother. Mother replied, listen to me. You may be the president or whatever of PepsiCo, but when you come home, you are a wife and a mother and a daughter. Nobody can take your place. So you leave that crown in the garage. I read it again. Listen to me. My mother replied, you may be the president or whatever of PepsiCo. When you come home, you are a wife and a mother and a daughter. Nobody can take your place. So you leave that crown in the garage. That particular line became very popular. Crown in the garage. Think about it. Change of perspectives. A woman, even though she is the president of PepsiCo, but always she is a wife, she is a daughter, and she is a, of course, take care of everything. That is household. Change of perspective. Those who are entering profession as women executives, when they read this book, they may get a sense of confidence. It is, I told you, the emotional intelligence and empathy. Even Indra Nooyi went through this particular phase, and she came out of it. So it's there. It's there. The Indian background is always there. See, Indian background is always there. They are getting help from their families. The families, Indra Nooyi's mother is going there taking care of children. That is Indian sentiment again. So when you are going by Indian values, the Indian values continue. Change of perspective. So when you read this book make you enormous confidence to women business executives or budding, of course, those who are doing girls, those who are doing MBA and all that, you can learn a lot from this. I strongly recommend this book, My Life in Full, What Family and Our Future. It is a very interesting book. It is a page turner. First few pages about our young life. It was very interesting. School days, college days, how she had all women cricket team then in Chennai when she was studying in college. And she ran a band, English music band. All these items, you will get it when you read this book in the few parts. Next, look at the ride of a lifetime. Lessons learned from 15 years of CEO of the Walt Disney Company. This guy, Robert Iger. Robert Iger, see, it's actually, of course, his experience as the experience of the CEO of Walt Disney, etc., etc. But in the first few pages, how he has seen the job. Running Walt Disney may be difficult, but he enjoyed the job. And he has told a beautiful quote about the job. It is the happiest job on earth. Perspective. Toughest job, actually. Toughest job. Taking care of all the movie making and all that. Looking care of the scripts and taking care of the fun worlds and all that. Okay. Amusement parks and all that. But think about it. He told happiest job on the earth. That's what he felt. Happiest job on the earth. And see the next line. Why? Why? Perspective. We manufacture fun. We manufacture fun. The definition for Walt Disney, we manufacture fun. What do you do? What do you do? In your company, what do you do? What do you manufacture? Is it simple, an element of a machinery? But what is the outcome? Where it ends? Is it as simple? A guy who is delivering you a Zomato or Swiggy guy is delivering food. He's not delivering food, he's delivering an experience. Isn't it? So what you create is not a product, is not a simple screw. Where it ends. So he says we manufacture fun. That's why he told it is the happiest job in the earth. So this book talks about his experience. Of course, one of the toughest jobs in the world, managing Walt Disney. And he says the happiest job on the earth because of the perspective. After reading this book, I want you to change your perspective regarding your job. What do you create? What do you manufacture? Where it will end in. Think about it. So that guy who is coming to your house, he's delivering not simply food, he's actually delivering an experience. The food is good if it is properly selected. And another book, this guy, Akio Morita and Sony. Sony is always a name. That name, it actually provides you confidence regarding the quality. And you can believe on the brand name Sony. Akio Morita started Sony company with a rice cooker, very simple rice cooker, and went on to become an electronic giant. But in this book, there is one episode about creation of Walkman, change of perspective, change of perspective. His vice president actually had the habit of carrying all over a cassette recorder. In those days, we had bulk cassette recorders. You had to put a cassette and you had to carry it along. And he had the habit of carrying it along everywhere, even during flights, even in factory days. He'll be always carrying because so fond of music. He loved to hear music. So on his table, it will be there, cassette player will be there. When he's visiting factory, he'll be carrying it. When we're traveling, he'll be carrying it. So that vice president, he asked their Sony's designer, I want something, a music that can be, that personally. So that guy, he went on to create the Walkman basic design. Walkman basic design. It was not called Walkman then. It had so many different names. And he presented the prototype to Akio Morita. Akio Morita got interested. Yes, it's good. So the music can be personal. So it can be stereo. Everybody can hear it. So music becomes personal. It is your music. You hear it. So you're not disturbing others. Nice idea. That's how they got the idea. That's how they got the idea. Immediately they created another prototype and sent it to market. And they got very good response. And they came up with very interesting name, Walkman. So far, have you thought about what is the meaning of Walkman? The Walkman, the term, is it having any reference to music? No. Because Sony had Presnan, another product, they altered it so that they called it as Sony Walkman. Sony Walkman, it went on to rule the world, music world, all over. All the youngsters were crazy about Walkman. Everybody was wearing it till the entry of course, personal music went to mobile phones now. Another disruptive technology and all that. But Akio Morita, actually, he explains all the details regarding the electronic business, how they designed, starting from Walkman, all the other revolutionary products of Sony. So made in Japan. And in this context, remember, there is also another book. It is called Made in America, written by the founder of Walmart. So two contrast books written in own styles. Made in Japan, Japanese management style is different. And in America, there is another style of functioning. And in a Walmart, he explains, Whitman explains, there is a rule of, there is 5 feet rule. 5 feet rule. And the customer enters the Walmart shop if there is an attender who comes face to face with the customer within 5 feet. You'll have to look at the face of the customer, make a smile, say good morning. Yes, sir. How can I help you? 5 feet. Wherever he enters, within 5 feet, he'll have to meet a person. That person should be an attender. And whoever may be the attendant, he may be a supervisor, he may be manager. If he is within 5 feet, he'll have to smile and he'll have to say, yes, sir, good morning. How can I help you? 5 feet rule. He made it as a 5 feet. That 5 feet rule was explained in Made in America, written by Paul Pittman. So sorry, Walmart's founder. I'm talking about the poet again. In the Walmart. Yes. Now let's move on. Yes. Sir, you told me there are lots of books about food. All the foodies, you love this book. This particular book, recently, 2 years back, 3 years back, it was published. Secret Sauce. Secret Sauce is actually a secret or missing element that is not at all available to the competitors. A secret sauce owned by that particular food brand. Secret, inspiring stories of great Indian restaurants. Lots of interesting stories about Indian. You name it, at least 30 to 35 restaurants are there. I'll tell you one example. In this book, they talk about the Paradise Biryani. Paradise Biryani, Hyderabad Biryani, the original Hyderabad Biryani is from Paradise Biryani. Why it is called Paradise Biryani? Because they started with a small outlet in Paradise Cinema Theatre in Secunderabad. Paradise Cinema Theatre. Secunderabad, they started a small outlet and the biryani was so popular, they opened nearby a small outlet near the theatre. That's how they started. Then they started offering branches. The biryani became so popular. How they identified it? Paradise Biryani. The biryani that was available from the Paradise Theatre. That's how they got the name. And the Paradise Biryani story is available to you. Then how these guys created Barbecue Nation. Barbecue Nation, actually they had two restaurants. One is actually a restaurant that is offers a buffet type. That is, you pay the money and you take a collection of buffets and all. Another one is a kebab center. There you'll be having a variety of kebabs. Two different locations. So that's how Barbecue Nation started with a different name and all that. And suddenly the owner got an idea that is change of perspective. Why can't we offer kebabs and buffet together? They combined the idea, started an outlet. So you pay money, you'll get a serving of all types of kebabs. And of course, you can go for a regular buffet. The idea picked up. That's how Barbecue Nation, and we are having at least 3 or 4 outlets in Coimbatore offering this particular type of combination. And there is a very interesting story about MTR. MTR, how they started as Brahmins Coffee Club, then started with coffee and idli alone, and how they went for, of course, the Rava idli. The Rava idli, it is because of the scarcity of rice during the Second World War. So all these 35 stories, Barakan Biryani is there. Barakan Biryani of Calicut. How they started with the interesting stories. I can't tell you all the stories. Please read this book. So you name it. All the India's popular restaurants are there and their stories are here in this book. If somebody is a student, MBA student is interested in starting a restaurant or is going to manage a restaurant, please read this book. You will get so many inputs to this book. Creative input, marketing input, and regarding the secret sauce. Secret sauce, that is a secret ingredient, it may be there in so many of the products. So KFC is having a secret sauce. McD is having a secret sauce. All these products are having a secret sauce. Even Palni Panjamardam is having a secret sauce. One particular brand is having secret sauce. So read this inspiring stories of great Indian restaurants. And that is another book regarding the food business. Yes. This is another book recently very popular, but of course it creates a misconception. That's why, because when you are reading a book, be careful. If you need the books to change your perception, understand the book properly. Don't say that just like that. Oh, this book says this is the formula for success. Books offer formulas of success, but you let understand it properly. Change of perspectives. It takes 10,000 hours to truly master anything. Time spent leads to experience. Experience leads to proficiency. And the more proficient you are, the more valuable you will be. Malcolm Gladwell, the author. Of course, you take MS Dhoni, you take Ilayaraja, A.R. Rahman, Kamal Hassan, or Sachin Tendulkar. You take anybody who's created, of course, a separate name for them in their field of work. And they practice that particular profession, 10,000 hours. Think about it. So if you practice something for 10,000 hours, you'll become an expert, you'll become a master. That's an argument given by Malcolm Gladwell. So this misconception of being an outlier is taken as the story of success, a secret formula or a formula for success. But try to understand an outlier, of course, A. Rahman is an outlier, A. Raja is an outlier, of course, MS Dhoni is an outlier. They have practiced their field for more than 10,000 hours. But how they did it? They did it with passion. Think about Ilayaraja. Ilayaraja, of course, he knows only music, nothing else. And Tendulkar is started from the age of 4 or 5, and his life is full of only cricket, 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 nothing else. So outliers, they select a particular field and they offer 100% to that particular field. 100%, nothing else. That is 100% focus into a particular field. So outliers are created because they have practiced something for more than 10,000 hours. This is the actual crux of this particular. But people are saying that if you practice something for 10,000 hours, you will become an outlier. No. You'll have to do it with that particular involvement, grit, determination. Only with that, you will become an outlier. So many people are outliers. Outliers, they practice that without any sense of boring. Currently, from youngsters, we are getting this particular word. It is monotonous. It is boring. I need something else. I like to take a break, something like that. So who took a break? Took a break. In one particular year, Ilayaraja composed music for 57 movies. All the 5 songs and all the re-recording, 57, just that. It is more than one movie per week. Music, music, music. And it's all 100% creative. So the genius is mainly because of the involvement and his interest in music. If you are so much interested in that particular field, that's up to you. Yes. And don't go for books just because they are selling so good. Ikigai, the latest millions of copies selling book, Atomic Habits. While reading these books, don't think that immediately they will change your life. So for reading these books, first of all, you need to understand the concept of Ikigai. Ikigai is a lot about a particular location in Japan where all the youngsters are living more than 100 years and their lifestyle is analyzed and it has been given as a concept of actually spending your life. Ikigai, identifying the real purpose of your life. So just like that, by reading Ikigai, you won't become a master of Ikigai and all that. Don't take that. Atomic Habits, by practicing something again, just like 10,000 hours, something like that, easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad habits. It's not very easy. It needs grit and determination. So while reading these books, don't think that immediately they will change your life. Reading these books, you'll have to read it again and you'll have to take notes and you'll have to practice it. Ikigai, you'll have to practice it. Atomic Habits, you will practice it. Then they will show results. Of course, they will do it. Of course, they will do it. So just like that, an instant cup of coffee, don't think that this books will offer you solution. That's what our youngsters get disillusioned. After 10 or 15 pages, this book is boring. Yeah, this book is boring. He's always talking about habits, habits, habits. And he's talking about Japanese ideas and all. Though, read the book, complete the book, and take notes. And whatever you can practice, start with it. A basic idea or something. So that's very important. And we are coming to the end of the session. Ian Leslie's book, the book is titled Curious. The desire to know why your future depends on it. Why we like to read books? The desire to know. That is my answer. If you are curious, you let read books. In that book, he says that a child asks from the age of 3 to 5, 20,000 explanatory questions to the parents. 20,000 explanatory questions, child, where the curiosity has gone. When the children enter the school, curiosity is killed. That's the reality. The desire to know and why your future depends on it. Curiosity makes you move on to the next day. If you are curious, the next day is always waiting. The next day, everything will change. The next day will be a new day. And knowing everything, that is curious. Basic curiosity is actually the essence of life. Be curious. This book talks about the importance of curiosity, the desire to know. So my answer to reading books is, of course, be curious and have the desire to know. Your life will be very, very interesting and you'll have enormous confidence regarding your knowledge. Yes, think about it. 20,000 questions a child asks the parents. Parents, they can't answer the questions. They're all explanatory questions. They need explanation. What is that? Why is that? Etc. etc. And they end up in schools. Schools, what they do? Don't talk. That's it. Don't talk. Don't ask any question, etc. Yes. Another book again about the book of beautiful questions. See, reading actually opens your mind so that you ask more questions. One book, it opens a few gates of inquiry in your brain. Through that, you move on to some more questions. What next? After Ikigai, what next? After Outlier, what's next? Explore further. The book of beautiful questions. Regarding your career, what's next? So life is always what's next. What's next? The book is having so many questions regarding your profession, your business, your career, etc. When you ask questions, you seek answers. When you seek answers, you identify new avenues. It's a beautiful book, and it comes with the beautiful quotation. Whether you're reading a book or doing something, enjoy doing it. Climb the mountain not to plant your flag, but to embrace the challenge. Enjoy the air and behold the view. Climb it so you can see the world, not the world can see. Do it for yourself. If it is your passion, follow it. Don't think that others will see you and others will praise you, others will appreciate you. Don't do anything for others' appreciation. You enjoy doing it. If you enjoy doing it, nobody can stop you from becoming an outlier. And I want to complete with one particular area, and that is another refrain from our youngsters, sir. What is the fun reading books? Everything is available in Google, sir. Everything is available in Google. Why you let read? I put in a question, and now we are having ChatGPT, sir. Just type in the question, I'll get the answer. And why you let read all these books? In the book, Ian Leslie's book, Curious, there is one quote: machines are for answers and humans are for questions. Machines will give you answers for so far asked questions, but new questions regarding the universe. Think about Elon Musk. Universe, that questions ought to be raised by human intellect. Only, of course, Isaac Newton asked the question of why Apple is falling down. Before that, nobody asked the question. Okay. So that is a question. Questions can be, new questions can be, further exploring questions can be asked only by regarding the universe. So many things are yet to be explored, only by human beings. So that particular quote from that book, Ian Leslie's Curious, that is, machines are for answers and humans are for questions. And regarding ChatGPT, see, you can get information from everywhere. And there is one wonderful serial coming up in Ananda Vigadan, written by Anton Prakash. Anton Prakash is writing a very good, interesting series about IT. In that, it talks about how ChatGPT is working. One guy actually gave a prompt to the ChatGPT. The prompt was regarding etymology, word history. So he gave a prompt, the prompt given to ChatGPT. So many of you know that. And he gave a detailed prompt. See, I want to know the etymological origin of the word a South Indian food, dosa, how it is prepared, etc., etc. So he gave a full explanation of dosa, and he wanted to know etymological origin of the name of the South Indian food item, dosa. What was the answer given by ChatGPT? ChatGPT gave a beautiful answer. It gave, see, it explained, of course, I'll tell you later, because the basic batter is prepared using lentil, rice, etc., etc., and the batter is being fermented to remove the defects from the batter. After removing it, a food delicacy is prepared, putting it on a stone, something like that. It is prepared, it is heated. So the entire process about removing, first one fermentation, second one through heating, remove the defects. So removing defects is the basic concept of a dosa. Dosa, the name is actually originated from the Sanskrit word dosha. Dosha, dosham. Dosham is defect. So removing dosha is dosa. This is the answer given by ChatGPT. Where it got this answer, it created the answer. It created the answer. It inferred the answer on its own, ChatGPT. So you'll say that, sir, it's fun, it's good. It's thinking on its own. But think about it. If it suggests something in this manner to your doctor, what will happen to the patient? If it suggests something to people who are actually moving on to space in a space shuttle, what will happen? Think about it. See, human brain is uncomparable. The best Google in the world is human brain. And human brain should be given work. And that work, of course, one way of giving work to your brain is reading. Please read. Thank you very much for listening to me. I think I've taken a little bit of more time. Thank you. See you later. And anybody, please take my number, and if you've got any clarification, contact. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody in the Computer Management Association. Special thanks to Mr. Adiman also for suggesting the name.
In fact, very insightful and thoughtful sessions. Thank you so much for that. Participants, you have any questions, please put in the chat box, or you can unmute and ask.
Good evening, sir. Thank you. Very insightful. Puneet Krishnan here.
Yes.
When you start reading a book, do you read 2 or 3 books simultaneously of different genres, or you pick up one book and then go through it completely? And many times we find it challenging. We find some books boring, and then we force ourselves to read as if it's a target to be achieved. So what is your advice on that?
Sir, always have 3 or 4 books, or at least 5 books, so that you can remember where you stopped, where you can start. If you can remember that, 3, that's the limit. 2 books, 3 books, 4 books. So I always read at least 4 to 5 books. So somewhere, if I get bored, I stop, I move on to some other book. Nothing wrong in it. If the book is good enough, I'll finish it in one sitting. Otherwise, I'll stop. And sometimes, because the events quizzes require, I'll move from one book to another book. Nothing wrong in it. And it is better always have at least 3 books if the topics are heavy. If it is very interesting, complete it in one sitting, but it takes your, of course, focus and lots of involvement. Take your time. Nothing wrong in it. You can read at least 3 books. My suggestion is 3 books. 3 is a magic number, sir. 3 books. 3 books is always good. Always 3 books. And of course, we are having bookmarks. And before moving on from the last page you have read, just go through the pages, chapters, and all that, and just get a glance of what you have completed and move on to the next few pages. That's very important. Or if you have taken notes, go through the notes and move on to the further pages to ensure continuity. Continuity is very important while reading a book. Without continuity, I told you a book is written in a context, first page to last page. So that context is very important. That continuity is very important. So that just browse through the chapters, remember what you have read, and move on to the further chapters. That's better. Nice question, sir. Always, I had this problem. I had this problem of stopping a book and moving on to the next book. Whenever I buy a new book, I'll jump onto the new book because the new book is very tempting. Okay, it is sitting on my table so fresh, so that immediately I will move on to the new book.
That's true.
Thank you.
So there's one more app called Blinkist. I came across that. It's basically it summarizes a lot of non-fictional books. And it is interesting. Have you had a chance to?
Yes, sir. I go through all these summary apps. Sir, actually, we are getting lots of books now, and we are not having the time, or we are not having that particular, of course, money is very costly and all that. So many reasons are there. It's better if the book is getting attention. If it is recommended, it's better first go through the summary. Then later, if it is having something of substance, better buy the book and read it. Otherwise, summary is enough. Summary is enough. For so many books, because we are having thousands of books, it's impossible to provide these books.
Yes.
To pick summaries are good. And the summary is good enough. It tempts you to read, go for it. Otherwise, leave it. Summary is good enough. Summary is good enough.
True, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And wonderful. I mean, you said that you studied up to post-graduation in Tamil language.
Yes, sir.
But the way you have a command over English, I think it's all self-taught.
Yes.
So huge compliments to you, sir.
Yes, sir. It's only through reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, participants, anyone has any more questions?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir, please go ahead, sir.
It's actually nice that I get to ask Rangaraj sir a question rather. Sir, today's youngsters, to get information, they have three different sources. Sir. They either see a video or they have this concept called as audio books where they listen to books through audio. And then they have the third or classical option of reading a book. What I get to know from the young people is when they start rating these three experiences, they find the retentivity of their knowledge while reading a book is much smaller compared to the retentivity of knowledge while seeing a video or while and therefore they think that reading is not for them. Can you just give me advice on how to address this issue, sir?
Sir, first of all, for or from the youngster's point of view, if you are getting acquainted with the book any form, it's well and good. It's well and good. I'm having lots of books in my Kindle. Actually, I read the Indra Nooyi's book from my Kindle. So Kindle is good. But audio books, I tried. But again, audiobooks, after few lines or something like that, you get distracted. Audiobooks, it won't give you the actual focus or the interest while reading it. And while you are reading, your mind registers the words, the vocabulary and all that. Only when the eye sees the words register in your mind. So vocabulary and all that, you let read the book. Reading is best. But according to me, then reading actually a physical book is good. Number one, the best experience. The feel of the book, nothing can replace it. I recently purchased 2 or 3 books, and the feel of the book that gives me enormous elation and confidence. Nothing can replace it. Then, of course, it is convenient having a few hundreds of books in my tab. It gives me wonderful. Just like that, I can read it, I can highlight it, and the highlighted portions, I can take it, I can convert it into a question. It's very convenient. So it's convenient. Audiobooks, I am not enjoying it, but if the youngsters are enjoying audiobooks, if it is a book, of course, well and good. Whether you listen to it, whether you read it, whatever it is. Just if you're getting accounted books, it's well and good. Because through audiobooks, they can get diction and vocabulary, and they can get to right pronunciation and all. Because all the audiobooks are read by experts. That's why I recommend audiobooks also.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. Sir, I think there are no more questions.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Yeah, indeed, sir. As you rightly said, it's always that we need to take effort to read books.
Yes, sir.
And
now it is an effort.
I think that is one big takeaway what I've seen here, and definitely books transform people. I definitely agree with you, and I have also experienced it. When I started my job in the year 2000, I had a habit of reading books, and till today, at least I buy one book every month. Uh, so I think that's a real motivation. As you said, having a physical book and the smell of the book is something keeps you going.
Okay.
In fact, sir, you touched upon so many things. I'm sure the participants, the students who attended today's session would have got a lot of insights and inspiration, that too from an expert and senior professor like you. So on behalf of Coimbatore Management Association, I thank you, Professor, for giving such a wonderful session today.
Thank you.
And indeed, personally, I'm privileged to host a session of such a big stage here.
Thank you. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you. And again, I thank the Monday Musings team, the Secretary and President of Coimbatore Management Association, participants, and all student chapter members who attended today's session. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening and meet you once again in the next Monday Musings. Until then, it's bye from CMA.
Thank you. Thank you. Meet again.
Thank you.